Gentlemen, welcome back to MGTOW Money. Today's topic, why is this man shaking and having a breakdown? Before we get to that, of course, let me sincerely thank the ongoing investment from the Patreon investors in this channel. Gentlemen, thank you. It's because of men like you this channel is moving forward because we are making a difference. Now, let's get on to today's topic. Why is this man shaking and having a breakdown? Look, let me just say right off the bat, gentlemen, I am not making this video to scare anyone, despite some comments that I had in previous videos. Number two, I urge all of you in the strongest terms possible. This is a very emotional topic, evidently, for some of you. Almost it borders on some sort of religion. Specifically, of course, I'm talking about cryptocurrencies. Gentlemen, on May the 29th, 2017, you can go look at the playlist to verify this. May 29th, last year, I recommended all of you purchase a little bit of Bitcoin. Put a small amount of money in Bitcoin. At that day, at that time, it was selling for around, I think it was around $2,200, $2,300 per Bitcoin. Obviously, it's made a huge run up to that, after that. And furthermore, I should say, I made a subsequent video where I made a forecasting error when Bitcoin was around $5,000 or so per Bitcoin. I recommended not buying it because I felt like it had already made this huge move. It had more than doubled in just a few months, and who knew that? Who could have predicted? I certainly didn't, that it was going to quadruple and go to 20,000 as it did last month in the mid-December. Although I should add in my defense that it dropped from 5,000 to about 3,000 a week after I did that video. So needless to say, today, if you're following this at all, gentlemen, today we're sitting at Bitcoin at about $10,000. So in other words, a month ago we were at 20. Today we're at 10. So I think by any definition, most of us would agree it has crashed, not just corrected, not just gone down some, not just declined. It has gone down more than let's just round off and say 50%. And most importantly, and unfortunately, sadly, I'm reading some Reddit posts, for example, not regarding Bitcoin, but for example, titled, "I'm shaking, I'm having a breakdown. I lost my life savings, over $500,000. I lost over $80,000. And the man goes on to say in this particular one, "I'm unemployed with 2 sons and I don't know what to tell my wife," quote unquote. Now, in this particular case, they're not talking about Bitcoin. In this particular case, they're talking about another cryptocurrency called, or token, if you will, called BitConnect. BitConnect, by the way, gentlemen, 3 weeks ago was trading at $472. $472 3 weeks ago. Today its value, $0. Gentlemen, did you hear me clearly? I said $0. So in 3 weeks, it's gone from $472 to $0. I sincerely hope that is not one of you. I won't have anything more to say about that. Needless to say, I've done videos, gentlemen, and I'm going to link to one of the videos I did about how I recommend handling large run-ups in your investment, whether it be using stops, targets, etc. I'll include a link to that video that I did in the past, but I'm not going to repeat that. However, I do have some ideas for future investing, specifically when you're looking at the cryptocurrencies, because I don't think they're going anywhere. So clearly they're here to stay, and clearly cryptocurrencies and moving to a cashless society is, quite frankly, going to be the future, whether we like it or not. All right, so number one, do not, under any circumstances, I would say, do not buy cryptocurrencies with a credit card. I was just reading a few weeks ago on CNBC how Google searches had exploded on the topic of buying cryptocurrencies, buying Bitcoin with a credit card. That is a very serious error, gentlemen. Do not buy cryptocurrencies of any sort with a credit card. It's too easy not to feel like you're using money, which of course you are, when you're using a credit card to buy something of that nature. 2, don't buy cryptos with more money than you would take to a casino. So in other words, if you know you're going to go on a casino trip or you're going to walk into a poker game or whatever it might be, don't bring in, don't put in, don't invest more in a cryptocurrency than you're taking into a casino. If you're only willing to take in $100 to a casino, you should not put in more than $100, as we've already seen, into cryptocurrencies. 3, whatever you do, gentlemen, please do not put more than maybe 5% or so of your total investment dollars into cryptocurrencies. In other words, if you only have $1,000 to invest, don't put in, more than $50 into cryptos. And I understand that's a very small amount of money. I get it. But gentlemen, this, yes, it's the future in terms of blockchain is the future. Cryptocurrencies of some sort are the future, but we don't know which is going to win out. And there are over 1,400 of them, and it's too easy to get suckered into, which one's going to be the one that wins out. I don't know. You don't know. Despite the evangelist or the seeming evangelist, the guy who swears he knows, he doesn't know. He's guessing. Next, you probably should not, I emphasize, should not put any money into cryptocurrencies unless you are totally debt-free. Gentlemen, unless you have zero debt, you probably should put a total of 0 into cryptocurrencies. Lastly, gentlemen, and again, I want to emphasize, I am not trying to scare anyone. I'm not trying to encourage anyone to do anything that they're not fully comfortable with. But please fully understand, gentlemen, many of these currencies, quote unquote, tokens, etc., I'm going to guess 80% are probably going to go to 0 or near 0 and never recover. In other words, they will never come back. Do I know which ones are going to go to 0 or nearly 0? No, I don't. But no one knows for sure. They can guess, they can tell you the probabilities, but they don't know for sure, gentlemen. When you're making an investment in cryptocurrencies, in my opinion, and this is exactly how I'm looking at them, every dollar that I put in is potentially money that's down the drain, that it's going to go to 0, that it will never, ever come back. You must fully understand, ingest, realize this completely. All that money that you have in cryptos could very easily, very simply go to 0. No one cares more about your money than you do, gentlemen, despite all the YouTube videos that you might be watching, despite all your friends that are telling you how great this particular crypto is. No one cares more about your money than you do. Number 2, again, as I've said so many times, if in doubt, stay out, gentlemen. If you're not sure about an investment, don't do it. You're better off sitting on cash. I can assure you, gentlemen, you're not missing out on anything. All right, let's quickly summarize here. Don't buy cryptos with more money than you would take to a casino. 2, don't buy cryptos with a credit card. Don't be deceived in terms of, oh, it's so easy, I'll just throw them on my credit card and pay them later. We already see how that story works out for people who bought BitConnect, for example. Do not put in more than 5% or so of your investable dollars. And of course, when I talk about your investable dollars, I'm going to hope, gentlemen, you've got your debt at 0, that you are totally debt free. And lastly, gentlemen, I cannot emphasize enough, many of these cryptos are probably going to 0 or some for pennies and will probably never, ever recover. So simply prepare yourself psychologically that the money you put into this, you may never, ever get back. All right, gentlemen, hit the like button if you found this useful. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. John Galt, out.